Hello, my love. It's Melyssa here, the Live Your Passion Accelerated Personal Mastery Mentor. And I'm here today to help you master yourself just a little bit more with a few tips around progress and not perfection. All right, if you are anything like me, you are probably a high achiever and you can't help but notice the things around you, specifically other people around you who may be looking like they're doing a lot better than you. Okay, and so the reason why I'm talking about this is because I've had a lot of conversations specifically this week as we get closer and closer to the new year. All right, it's the end of October, we're very close to Halloween. That means that there's only 2 months left of the year. All right, we're in the final stretch. And I've been having a lot of conversations specifically with clients, with friends, with family, and people can't help but tell me about how they're feeling a little frustrated, that they're not exactly where they want to be, and they're definitely not as far along as they'd like to be now that we're nearing close to the end of the year. And I definitely have a lot of compassion for them because I myself often go through times where I go into a little bit of analysis paralysis or even comparison paralysis, where you can't help but stare at everyone else's news feed on Facebook, look at everyone else's cool pictures, and assume that they have a far better life than you do. And if you are an entrepreneur like I am in the service-based industry where you're doing a lot of networking, talking to a lot of people, you might be finding yourself coming home and feeling a little bit like, hey, I mean, like how far along am I compared to these people? They're doing so much better than me. So I wanted to put this up because I think that personal mastery is all about understanding that every single person has a unique offering. And every single person has a set of assets and talents and gifts that nobody else has. All right, there are billions of people on the face of the planet, and although we're all, connected by 6 degrees of separation, at the end of the day, we are connected, but we are unique. And so I want to point this out that if you're looking to become a master of yourself, which just means that you are personal mastery, what does that really mean? It means that you are going in deep with yourself and you're understanding the discipline to really seeing yourself grow and progress. But if you have a mentality where you're reaching for perfection or reaching to also compare yourself and be the same as someone else, then you're already stunting your own growth and you're also setting yourself up for failure. And as many of you know that, you watch my stuff, you probably watch my YouTube videos, and you probably are reading a lot of my posts, I'm very adamant around the concept of success. But I'm not talking about the kind of success where someone else tells you you're successful. I'm talking about the success at the end of your day when you've done the things that you said you were going to do. All right, being a person of your word, being a person of integrity, being a person who's reaching out and pulling into the arena of their potential, their personal potential. So if you're reaching for perfection, you're setting yourself up for failure. But if you reach for progress on a daily basis, you can't help but win over time. Okay. And at the end of the day as well, we are all living day to day. It's, the future is actually a function of now, and the past is already gone. Okay. So if you're looking for progress and if you do it on a daily basis, you're going to be far more likely to be the success that you truly want to be. Okay, now I am a high achiever, meaning I sometimes set the bar really, really high. I've got really high standards. And for the most part, that's definitely served me well. And I don't know about you, but you've probably seen it sometimes that if you have high standards as well, sometimes you also can set yourself up for failure with that kind of mentality. So I wanted to provide you with a couple of success tips that will help you reach for progress and not perfection and be a lot more closer to your own personal mastery and a lot closer to your own personal success. Okay, so at the beginning of your day, how you start your day matters immensely. All right, it kind of sets the tone for the whole day. Are you starting your day off with an amazing shower and also showering yourself with self-love? Are you starting your day off with a super high antioxidant-rich breakfast, wonderful low, alkaline water? Are you eating organic food? Are you doing something in the morning that's going to fill you up with awesome energy and also fill you up with amazing, positivity? And I'm not talking about positivity like pretending nothing is wrong. I'm saying positivity as in you're inspiring yourself at the very beginning of your day. That's going to help you quite a bit in the progression of your day, right? Because we're talking about reaching for progression and not perfection. So reach for that at the very beginning of your day. And I also want to suggest that by the middle of your day, repeat the same process. okay? Because as you go about your day, whether you're an entrepreneur or you're a entrepreneur mom at home, or you are a transitioning from new business owner, whichever, the middle of your day is about when people start to do the whole comparison thing, right? Because lunch hour is actually one of the most top peak times that people are checking their social media. And studies have shown that if you check your social media for more than even 15 minutes a day, you'll already start feeling more depressed. Okay, so you can Google that. You can find out there's all kinds of studies that are being done on that right now. And so I want to encourage you that instead of scanning through your social media and checking out everyone else's life at the midday point, at that point, repeat your morning routine, which is your success routine. Again, filling yourself up with awesome, energetic food, filling yourself up with awesome, energetic mindset shifts, affirmations, reading something positive, growing your own mind, really looking at yourself and celebrating yourself. Okay. And the reason why I say that is not so that you can become, this selfish type of person. I just mean that you want to be fueling and filling up with things that are going to move you forward for the rest of your day now. Then by the latter part of your day, reaching for progression, I really want you to continue that success cycle and really celebrate what you accomplished for that day. It's very easy to forget that you truly did accomplish a lot in your day. Okay, so for example, if somebody compliments you or says thank you to you, that's a celebration. And that's something that you can actually reference back and say, you know what? Yeah, I must be someone of value because someone thanked me for something that I did for them, or I did something to inspire them, or I did something that made them thankful. So that means I'm a person of value. I'm going to celebrate that. In addition to that, you can also get to the end of the day and start celebrating the fact that you made it as well. You survived another day. But in my words, I always say, I thrived another day. All right. The gift of life is a huge blessing. And that's something that you can be really grateful for and really fuel you for more progression as you go along. All right, so those are all energetic types of tips that are going to help you move and reach towards progression and not perfection. All right, being perfect is a setup for, it's really just setting you up for failure, because there actually is no such thing as perfection. And let me explain why. Perfection refers to one moment in time. Okay, like it's like a goal, right? Once the goal is done, it's done. It's one moment in a spectrum of time. But if you look at your life and the concept of time, it keeps going and it's a constant, it's a constant, it's a constant. And you've probably heard the saying that the only constant is change. Well, that principle actually applies to time as well. Time continuously moves and it's constantly moving forward. So it's impossible to actually reach perfection. It's only possible to reach perfection in one moment, but not necessarily in multiple moments back to back to back to back to back. So if you reach for progression and have your timeline points where you're actually saying, yep, I got to this milestone, I got to this milestone, I got to this milestone, and you're measuring the milestones and you're looking for progression, then you're actually going to start feeling and realizing your own personal success. And the more often you do it as a habit, that's how you're going to start to notice your own personal success and growing your personal mastery. All right, so I really am standing strong by these ideas, because when I was growing up, I used to always go for perfection. And I would often sacrifice a lot of sleep. I would sacrifice a lot of friendships and my own well-being, because I was literally digging so hard and really, really trying to get things perfect. If you walked into my room, nobody could sit on my bed, because I had just perfectly made and laid the sheets, and my pillows and my bears were all perfectly organized. No one could touch my bed. And if anyone did, I would freak out. And so I never had any internal peace. Like, that's something I think I was like 12 years old or 13 years old. And then even to this day, sometimes I'll be event planning, for example, for some of my networking events and my high value workshops. And sometimes all the way up until the absolute last minute, I'm trying really hard just to fine tune the little details. And then I realize that some of those steps it's not that they're useless, it's just that I'm creating my own internal dissonance. Actually, I'm just creating my own way of making myself sort of panic and freak out, just because I'm trying so hard to make my workshop perfect. And I always realize at the end of the day, I'm like, it's not the perfection that makes the workshop such high value. It's the content that's delivered and then the connections that are made. And so focusing on perfection doesn't really help me or the person who's being served in the workshop. And so there's all these little mindset shifts that I myself personally have to go through. And that's why I want to share this, because I think that a lot of people do it to themselves all the time. They reach for perfection and they don't even realize it. So I really want to point out that it's a fabulous way to really look at things if you can look at progression versus perfection. All right. My last point for today that I really want to leave you with is if you are progressing, this is something that's part of basic human needs. All right. It's a wonderful thing for your life to want to grow and want to expand. All right. From the day you're born, and I'm talking about while you're in the womb for 9 months, all you're doing is growing. So it's a very natural function, right? As soon as you're born officially into, into the physical world, again, all you do is you grow through, baby stages, infancy, toddler, young teen into teen, etc. But in today's society, there's a little bit of a problem because we have this awkward, really long phase of time where it's just adult and it encapsulates over 40 years. And then we turn into seniors, apparently. So for 40 years, we kind of get stuck into ruts because we're just labeled as adults, or we're just supposed to go and work. And so we stop measuring progress. We also stop celebrating progress. Right? If you're in the Western world with me here, I'm in Canada. If you're in the Western world here with me, then you're in a school system. And for a long time, you're used to being, celebrating progress, and you're used to celebrating the fact that you're growing and you're learning and you're expanding. But what you might forget as an adult is that you've got to do the same thing in order to really feel like you're moving forward. Now, again, don't have to, but it's just that for those of us like myself who actually thrive off of succeeding and really enjoying the full spectrum and experience of life, growth is inevitable. And it's a wonderful way to use your life as almost like a growth experiment, okay? So I wanted to put that out there because I think it's so important to grow and to expand yourself. And it's so important to not try to go for perfection because it doesn't really exist on a long-term scale. But progression will always be there because the only constant is change. And so instead of changing for the sake of changing, let yourself grow and let yourself change from the inside out and let yourself experience the full spectrum of life itself through the concept of growth and progression. All right. So with that being said, I would love to hear from you. I want to know, are you a perfectionist? Are you overcoming perfection? Are you looking for personal mastery? Do you have any other questions around, what to do when ... All right, I'll let you fill that in. I also want to invite you to like my fan page on Facebook. It's www.facebook.com/Melyssa and my last name, Moniz. And don't forget, it's Melyssa with a Y, because why not? I also want to say, live your passion. All right, go out today, and it's the middle of the week. It's Wednesday. Live your passion. Show the world, show yourself that you are worth it and that your life is awesome, and it's just worth living. And not awesome because you're quote unquote doing anything. It's just awesome because you're alive and you're unique and you are a marvelous and magnificent being. All right. So again, yes, send me comments. All right. Otherwise, I'll keep on going on and on and on. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. Happy Wednesday, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye now.